Right, so we're going to look at the back system, right? So the reason why back is so important is it's like the most vulnerable spot for us as humans, right? We're hunters, our eyes point forwards, we're not like goldfish, right? Eyes on the side of our head. We're very effective at fighting forwards, so even if someone's got mount on you, you know, there's things you can do from that position. When someone's on our back, I know there's a couple of dodgy foot locks and a wrist lock, but pretty much there's nothing you can do when someone's behind you. It's the most vulnerable place to have someone, right? That's why we all jump when someone walks up behind you and taps you on the shoulder, makes you jump, right? So if we can get to that point when we're grappling, we're in the best position advantageously, right? So that's why it gives you the most points in a jiu-jitsu match. And then a lot of the time with the points in jiu-jitsu matches, it's not just because you can tap the other person out, it's because if you were fighting and you could hit each other, then it becomes a lot more important, right? So if I get someone's back, obviously in jiu-jitsu I'm just trying to choke them, and it's still a relatively difficult thing to do. But if I was allowed to just maul them, I can start slamming elbows in the back of the head, or hit the back of the head, and then I'm going to be able to really do some damage just by being behind them. So we're going to look at the back position, and I'm going to teach you the straitjacket system, which is from John Danaher. So he's one of the instructors at Renzo Gracie's in New York, and I'm not sure how much it is him and how much he's taken from other people, but he certainly popularized it and he's systematized it. So what that means is, if you study his videos and his classes, every possible thing that can happen, not nearly every possible thing, every reaction, like he has a whole system. Every time, you know, if they do A, you do B. If they do B, you do C. So, and when you have a system like that, you can be very effective, which is a lot more effective than a lot of Brazilians do, because they just randomly throw techniques at you and hope you fill in the gaps yourself, which is really useless. So we're going to start by looking at once I get the back. So we're skipping how we get there, and I've got someone's back. So I'm going to be teaching this with a grapple dummy today. So I'm behind someone. They have a few different ways to escape. So the first thing, they can turn left or right or left, depending where you're looking at it, right? So the first thing I want to do to stop them just being able to turn around and face me, I want to put hooks in. So my hooks and my feet going in like this. I can cross them, I can do a body triangle, but essentially I have to wrap my legs around someone to limit their movement. So they try to go that way, this foot stops them. They try to go that way, this foot stops them. The next problem I have is they can go down or up. So they can bridge into me, drive back this way, or they can start shrimping down and sliding out that way. So if I had both hands under their armpit, I can stop them sliding that way, but I can't really choke them very effectively. You can do arm locks and things, and I can't stop them driving back. If I have both arms over the top, I can choke them really effectively. I'm in a great position to attack, but I have nothing to stop them start sliding down, and as soon as they're down a little bit, trying to choke them is very difficult. So what I want to do is I want to do a seat belt. So a seat belt is literally like in a car. You have a diagonal here. Now, people teach this and they go seatbelt, and they kind of leave it up to the students to think about the seatbelt. This seatbelt position is way more complicated than that, right? So the arm over the top, I have to have my elbow over the top. So if I'm like this, I don't have that much control to stop them turning that way. But if I'm like this, with my elbow over their shoulder, it's now very difficult for them to turn that way. My bottom hand, if I just held like that, I don't have much control to stop them turning that way. If I hold their wrist and then pull it tight here, so pull my elbow to my side there, like that, and then I hold my own wrist there. Now I've got great control. So they try and turn right, I'm holding their wrist here. They try and turn left, I've got my elbow over the top of their shoulder here, like that. And if they at any point make a mistake, I'm ready to choke them with my hand, like this. So if you're watching and joining in, please have a go as I'm waffling. So I've got legs around, butterfly hooks, arm over the top, it's elbow over the top. Very important here. This hand holding the wrist, pulling in, and everything tight. And the one counterintuitive thing for jiu-jitsu is that I want to keep my head tight to their head here. It's going to be a bit different if they're allowed to punch me in the face, if we're doing like MMA, they start hitting me here. But in straight jiu-jitsu terms, this gives me a lot of control, and their main escape is to get their head to the mat and slide out. So if I can take that away by going ear to ear, this is a really tight position to be in, just there. Just like that. Julia, come here a second. Let me try to show the person.
No.
Quick. She's dressed for it. So,
Ooh, separate cameras.
hooks. So I got my hooks, and the important thing with the hooks is they're active, but they're not just around, but they're pulling in the whole time, pulling in and back. Right? The arm over the top of my seatbelt, I have to get my elbow over the shoulder so I can pull in there. You feel the difference? So like that, if I do this, you try to move, even if I hold tight, you got pretty good movement, right? If I go elbow, and then I hold your wrist and pull it in, and pinch, and then put my ear in here, now move.
I can move my hand.
I can get my choke.
I can kill you with my hand.
So, you can see the difference here, here, here. This is where I want to be, right? This is so much tighter than just this, which most people teach, which it's effective. I'm still got a chance, but if I'm fighting a really high level person, I have to have everything tight to have any chance of being able to submit them. So, next thing, people worry about crossing their feet. So Julia, well I've got you, does the stupid foot lock, right? Here, and then she kind of crosses her feet and bridges in. There we go, lovely, right? So people are like, never cross your feet, right? When I started jiu-jitsu, in every competition they were like, don't cross your feet, because I think most people's instinct, they get someone's back and they want to squeeze like this. Crossing your feet is not that bad, right? Sometimes it's actually perfectly okay, right?
Sacrilege.
Because number one, this isn't a great foot lock. The chances of it breaking your foot before you choke them is very low. And number two, it's very easy to defend, right? Angle a little bit. I cross my feet, Julia does the stupid foot thing. Here, just push her away. Now do it.
Stop it! Ow!
So if you do it, if Julia does it again,
I don't want to.
do it again. So that if I push her away, it's easy for me to slip my foot out now, because it takes all the pressure off my feet. So that's all I got to do if someone does that, because they're not escaping. All they're doing, they have to kind of uncross their feet to escape anyway. So,
oh yeah, I've got my plans in a minute. I've got to put the other two in this bed.
here, you're not allowed to run away now. There you go, go work, go. Go on.
Ira, Cassius, come help me.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you. Alright, Ira, Cassius, look on us.
So if you're watching, I know it can seem very boring, it's very fundamental. The straitjacket bit is going to be the end of this video where we do actually how to straitjacket someone, and that's the bit everyone wants to see. But we have to have these fundamental steps on the way there to make it right. So carry on with what you're practicing, but as you're doing it, just listen and watch along. So I've got my seatbelt, I'm holding the wrist, I got everything tight. Now I can fall two ways. I can go this way and I can go this way. So when I started jiu-jitsu, I was told to always fall towards the choking hand. And there's good reason, right? It traps the arm that's choking them around their neck. Oh, let me do it. And it makes it very hard for them to escape, because to escape this, the person has to get their head onto the mat to be able to slide out and escape the back. So my arm's in the way. But the problem is, if their chin's down, it's very hard for me to do anything. Because if they're hard defending, I've got to pull my arm out and try and get under their chin, and you end up just stuck. Maybe a body triangle, but you end up just stuck. And that's great in a points tournament if you're winning, because being stuck when you're ahead on points is fantastic. But if we're trying to finish, I don't want to be stuck. So what I'm going to do is fall the other way. So I've got the wrist control, elbow over the shoulder, my inner weight. I'm going to fall towards the arm that is holding the wrist, that isn't choking them here. Move a little bit here. But it's very important I keep my head in the way. So instead of my arm keeping their head off the floor, my head is doing it. If my head's out of the way, they're going to start sliding out and they're going to be able to work their escape. So I've got to keep everything tight here, like that. Well, and this will make it very hard for them to escape. Really, really hard for them to escape. And it's all about their room to escape is this like gap here. So the tighter I can make this, the tighter my head is, and then the choking arm, this top arm, I can even go right over the top and hold their shoulder, and it's going to be super hard for them to escape. There, like that. So, have a little practice on that while I waffle on about the next thing. So, where we start doing, at the moment we've kind of gone through fundamentals, and we want to start looking at what we're going to do, where the straitjacket system comes in. And this is the first part where it really starts to come in, and it's different to like the status quo of what we do in a normal jiu-jitsu class. So the first thing that's interesting is when we get to here, instead of just keeping my hooks here, or I could do a body triangle, it's quite good. If you think about it, they're trying to escape going this way, sliding their head to the mat, right? And usually they're grinding their face to the line, trying to get to the mat. So what I'm going to do is put my foot on the hip here. And then this hook that was in between his legs, I'm going to bring it as far across as I can, like that. And you can see, if I just push this hook, what happens to his head? It goes away from the mat. So they're trying to go that way. I just push on their hip, and I can stop them getting that escape. And it also starts opening up this neck area because I've taken all their escapes away, and I can start attacking, looking for a choke. Here. So that again, I start here. I fall to the side of the non-choking arm, put my foot on the hip, push them away, and bring this foot right across, as tight as I can get it across the body. It's a bit like a body triangle, but there instead. Right? Here, like that. So once I get to that position, if I'm fighting a white belt and they have no idea how to defend it, I can just choke them, right? I don't need any more strategy than this to attack and beat a beginner. So what I want to do is be able to get a rear naked choke, the king of submission. So if I just try and bring my hand under someone's chin, they will usually have their chin down and defend it, and I can't get anything. So what I want to do is I want to start up by their ear here, see, here on me, and I follow, usually I got my chin head, follow that chin line, and you can get underneath it. If I just do my fingers, they're kind of weak, they're going to bend and buckle easily, so I want to do this position with my hand. So I do that, I start at the ear, come under the chin, slip it around, little shoulder push, hand on bicep, hand behind head, keep my head tight, roll my shoulders and give them a squeeze, and I should be able to choke them out. So again, we're going to add it in with the movement in a minute. I was doing it so you could see straight on the camera. So I finish, seatbelt, I bring this hand all the way out, and it's hard with my grapple dummy, but usually quite a nice demonstration that they usually hold in my hand. If I just try and break the grip, it's impossible. But if I pull it out this way over their shoulder, it's pretty much impossible for them to hold on unless they're 100 times stronger than me. So I rip it this way, I do this shape, I come under the chin, around, pull this arm out, push the shoulder, rear naked choke. So the whole thing, please practice along at home. Don't wait for me to stop talking. I'm going to chat too much today. So I'm going to hold the wrist, hold my wrist, elbow in the shoulder. I'm going to fall to the side of a non-choking hand. I'm going to keep my head in the way. I'm going to put my foot on their hip here. At this point, I'm going to pull this hand back, start at their ear, grind down underneath here. Now, quite often with a normal back attack, all their weight would be on their arm, so it'd be hard to get it out. But because I got this foot on the hip, I can just push them away, slip the arm out, and get my rear naked choke, and have a finish there. So we're still not really on the straitjacket system, but this the fundamentals of which side you want to go, how you want to finish, and the foot on the hip. And I've been trying a lot of this and it's really working a lot for me. So one more time, and then I'm going to add the next bit. So I'm here, tight, fall to this side, keep my head in the way. There, foot on the hip, so it takes that weight off me and it makes the escape hard. Pull this hand out, grind under the chin, get to here, use this foot to push, slip the arm, get my rear naked choke finished, roll the shoulders, give them a squeeze, put them to sleep. So, have a go James, you're just watching me. Poor Bernie, my grapple dummy gets abused all the time, he's just full of yucky underwear. I made him look at me then, hello. Might paint some eyes on him, make him a bit more personable. Doesn't tap a lot, you've got to give him credit for that. So, while we're practicing, we're going to look at where the straitjacket system comes in. So it's called the straitjacket system because the straitjacket, you cross your arms like this, or you get your arms trapped, right? So this is what we want to do. And the reason why I need to trap an arm is because there's a fundamental problem with attacking the back. And the fundamental problem is they have 3 weapons and I have 2, right? So to choke them, I have to overcome both their hands trying to stop me, but I also have to overcome their head moving around and their chin being down trying to stop me. And I can kind of use my head, but not as effectively as they can. So they have an advantage. It's my 2 weapons against their 3. So what the straitjacket system is for is trying to even this up. So instead of just trying to attack the back and trying to get the choke, where if I'm much bigger and stronger or much more skilled, I'll be able to do it anyway. But if we're very evenly matched, if I'm slowly going to take away their mobility and make it to the point where they can't stop me choking them. So the straitjacket crosses your arms, restricts your movement, so that's what I'm trying to do when I get the back. So I'm in this position, here, I fall to the side, here. Now, I got my foot on the hip, but I can't get my rear naked choke straight away because they're defending with this arm, right? So every time I do, he's blocking me, or he's grabbing my wrist here, like that. So what I'm going to do, as they're holding my wrist, I'm going to push my arm away, like that. So this is relying on them holding me at the moment. It's hard to see with his weird non-hands, but so like that. And then I'm going to bring my foot that was on the hip, so it's very active. It's not really holding in place, it's just here, there. I'm going to bring it over their hand, like this. Now at this point, I can cross my feet, I can put my foot behind their back, but the important thing is, I've got their arm trapped. So now instead of it being 1, 2, 3 weapons against my hands, they're down to 2. I'm holding this one, so they've got nothing to stop me grinding this, digging it in, getting under the chin here, maybe finishing without letting go, or clearing that hand and getting my rear naked choke there. So, again, I got my back position, ear to ear, fall to the side, non-choking hand, keeping my head in the way of their head. Shimmy down, my foot on the hip. I go to choke them. They grab my arm, so I stretch my arm out. They're not just going to let go because they're going to choke them with it, right? I'd come and choke them. I bring my foot over their arm here. I can bring my foot behind the back. This is also really strong here. I can reach down, put in a full body triangle. That's going to really keep their arm trapped. Or I can just cross my feet. But if you're lanky, a full body triangle is good. And now, make my shape. Dig under the chin. Grip in. Grip it up. And squeeze. Rip their head off. Good. See everyone on video practicing. Oh, it's looking excellent. Keep practicing. I'm going to talk through it one more time. And then we'll do the next part of the straight. Now we're doing the straitjacket system. So the straitjacket system is essentially tying up their arms like you would with a straitjacket. And it makes it so much easier to finish from the back. And if people don't know this system, and there's a lot of black belts that don't know this system, and you can get their back, you're so far ahead. It's really good to be a jiu-jitsu. You need to study defensively as broadly as possible, but offensively you only have to be good at one or two things, but you have to be really good at them. That's the problem. It's the classic Bruce Lee thing of the man that's practiced one kick 10,000 times, right? If you're the killer at the back, right, and or this straitjacket system, you might have done this straitjacket system more than some brown or black belts you train with. So if you can get to this point, boom, you're ahead of them, even though they train longer than you, because you've specialised in one spot, right? So, but you need to be able to defend everything, which is the hard bit, right? So let's just talk through this one more time, and then we'll go for part 2 of the straitjacket. So I'm here in the way, fall to the side, wiggle into camera shot, foot on the hip, they grab my hand, so I stretch away, bring my foot over from here, grab my other foot, pull it in, body triangle, lock it up, and now work for my choke finish. There. It will make you so effective attacking the back. I'm going to have a little drink, going to have a quick look at you guys. Oh, somebody left. Clearly it's not a good review. Get in, George. Get in, Jordan. People watching on YouTube are becoming bum, bum, bum. So now I'm going to look at the next part of the straitjacket system, but it's very, very similar, so don't think I'm rushing ahead, people doing this live Zoom class or watching on YouTube. It's really easy. So I'm here, I got everything the same, I fall to the side, boom. Now, the one we just did was dependent on them holding this wrist so I could push away and trap their arm. Instead of that, which is, someone smart's just going to bring their arm to the inside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my arm this way and break the grip and then grab their wrist, right? Ideally I'm going to grab across their knuckles like this, makes it hard for them to grab the gi or something. So, I'm here, break the grip, then come over the top, grab their wrist, and now I'm going to punch it down. Bring my foot to my hand here, like that. Pull it away, lock up my legs, and then start attacking the back. If you can't do body triangles, hooking the foot behind the back is perfect. Because the hook is to stop them turning their left, and the hook, holding the arm will do the same thing. He can't go that way. So again, instead of just relying on them holding my wrist, I break the grip and hold their wrist and push and trap and then start finishing from the back. So it's the same difference. And like I was saying earlier, if you have someone's back and they're holding your hand, if you just bring your hand back or over their shoulder or away, it's pretty much impossible for them to keep hold of it. It's a bit different in MMA gloves. They get a better grip. But jiu-jitsu, especially no-gi jiu-jitsu, there's no way. Even gi jiu-jitsu, I got a lot more leverage than they do, and I should be able to break that grip. And I can always bring my other arm in to come in and start messing with the grip. So I'm still trapping the same as I did before, but this time I'm breaking the grip and grabbing them and forcing the action, right? So we'll do that one more time, and then we'll get on to the full straitjacket, the icing on the cake, the cool bit that everyone wants to know. So I'm here, fall to the side, foot on the hip, they try to grab, I break the grip, grab their hand, push it down, come over the top, here, cross my feet, start looking for the finish. Remember, I'm not scared of crossing my feet because the stupid footlock doesn't work. All I gotta do is push my head away and there. Keep trying that at home for just a minute, and then we try the cool one. We're gonna grab some water. It's so much hotter today. I'm sweating, just teaching. We'll do will work out next Monday. Keep it easy today. So, the full straitjacket. So I'm going through this very fast, but I'm recording it for the people watching it live. I'm going to stick this on YouTube tomorrow so you can recap. If you want to just carry on practicing, you carry on, don't worry. But a full a straitjacket, which most of you know, it crosses your arms over and there's buckles and you're stuck, right? And you look very cool. And then Houdini gets out and then undoes the safe and awesome, right? So, very effective. If you can trap someone's arms like that, they can't really move anywhere or go anywhere. So, I've got someone's back here. So instead of my seatbelt like this, right? Hold the wrist like this. What I'm going to do, this arm over the top is going to hold this wrist, and the one under the bottom is going to hold this wrist, right? So when I've taught this before, it's people get confused on which arm to grab. So if you start with a standard one where I'm holding this wrist, right? So normally it's hard with a grapple, don't you? You'd be trying to defend the choke like this. So I'd let go with this hand and then come inside and grab that one, and then I grab that one, and I can pull. Look, he's in a straitjacket, right? Hence, straitjacket system. This is what I want. This makes it very, very hard for him to turn one way or the other or escape. And people are very bad at this, right? Even lots of black belts will have no idea what you're doing if you do this to them. You could be really effective. So, I'm here. Grab this one, and keep everything tight here. Okay. Now, I got double wrist control, so I'm going to fall to the same way, right? So that my head is in the way of their head in the mat. So for me, it's this side, there. Boom. Now, before, I was trying to trap this arm by pushing it with this arm, right? This is it's not difficult, it's very easy, but it can be difficult because what they will do is bring the arm over here. That's going to be like, even I'm very flexible, but I'm nowhere I'm trapping that. Or this side of the mat, it's very difficult to do. Now, if I've got my straitjacket here with my opposite hands, look, my elbow is hitting the mat with this hand. So no matter where they move it to resist, they can't make it go closer to the mat here to stop me trapping it. So all I've got to do is hold it there. Wherever it goes, I put my foot in like that. So my foot's on the hip and I put my foot in. It's hard to see with my grapple dummy, but I'm trying to find the crook of their elbow here. So I got my straitjacket, they're fighting, they're moving this arm, I bring my foot into the crook of that elbow here. And I can just slide it down and hook it behind their back, or cross my feet, or body triangle. And then I'm back with my trap here. Now, I was holding this hand, was right, part of the straitjacket. So I can lift them up, clear this arm, and then sink that one in for my rear naked choke there. I'm aware that was a shed load of information in a very short amount of time, so we'll do it again. So, straitjacket. I start, right, seatbelt. This hand holds that one. So I just swap hands, simple as that. Right? This hand stays underneath, I don't bring it up, just stays underneath, grabs this hand. I'm falling to the side, so my head is between his head and the mat, like this, right? My foot goes on their hip to make it hard for them to escape. No matter where they put their arm, my leg's going to be able to find the crook of their elbow here. Right? I can slide down, or I can hold my foot and cross my feet. Keeps it really super tight, that one, if I go from trapping to holding. That's one I've been adding in a bit. And now I can slip and get this arm, or I can just swap again and then use the standard arm to get my rear naked choke finish. Yeah. Again. Okay. I'm hit. Got my seatbelt grip. Grab this hand, grab this hand. Keep everything tight, my head in the way. Fall to the left side, elbow hits the mat. They can't hide that arm because my elbow is wedged on the mat. They can't push it any closer without breaking my arm. Right? Here, foot on the hip, push them away a little bit just to make it easier. So I get a little push, foot in the crook of the elbow here. Can hold my foot if I want, or just hook behind the back. I'm going to swap arms, start digging for my choke, and get my finish. Good. So keep practicing it. People in my class live, keep having a go. I'm going to talk through it one more time, and then I'll just show you just another way of setting up exactly the same thing. So I'm here, hold the wrist, hold my arm, everything tight. Yeah. Right, fall into this. We're doing the straight jacket, so I'm going to hold this hand, hold this hand. Normally I wouldn't swap grips quite like that. It's because I got grappled. He doesn't really defend chokes very well. Normally he'd be up here trying to grab my hand, and I'd be able to swing this one kind of on the inside of there and grab like that for my grips. Same difference. So, fall to the side, foot on the hip. He can't hide this arm. Foot in the nook of the elbow. Slide it down. Cross my feet. Switch arms. Come for my rear naked choke finish. Just there. Good. Is everyone horribly confused at home? Curtis has got it. Look how confident he is. I'm going to watch him. Look at this. Yeah. 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 I tell you what, Curtis. This is fire. Curtis, you've got to do this to Ben. You'll catch him with it. Yes. And although Dana is famous for doing it with a gi, it's really with no gi. It's really good with a gi as well, because you need a little grip to get a bow and arrow choke. So you can drop someone's arm even for 2 seconds. It'll usually be enough to get a strong grip, and then it'll be game over. I haven't watched anyone else, but Curtis is on fire. And that's what matters. Oh, there, George has got it. Yes, George. Izzy's just watching, not doing anything. Excellent. I think Jordan's doing it right. If Jordan wasn't doing it right, I'd be surprised. James is looking good. Nice, James. Very good. So, carry on practicing if you want. I'm just going to show you a variation. So, the straight jacket grip, you can get that all the time. You can get that from turtle. You can get it from side control when you set up your grips. Any time where you would do this to try and stay on someone's back, you can do this, pretty much. It's about the same amount of control, and it means as soon as you take their back, as soon as I end up here, boom, I'm ready to start trapping and being annoying, looking for finishes. But let's say I've got my standard seatbelt, and I've got my seatbelt and I fall this way. So I don't have my straight jacket, I've just got the standard seatbelt here, right? And they're defending the choke, so they've got their arm in the way. All I'm going to do, this bottom arm, the one's holding the wrist, I'm going to bring it on the inside here and hold their wrist like that. So just pummeling. So they're holding my wrist, trying to stop me choking them. So this hand comes on the inside and holds this wrist. Then most of the time, this one, I'm going to choke them if they don't do anything. So they're going to grab with the other hand instead, I'm going to grab that one. I've got my straight jacket again, just on a slightly different setup. I push away, trap, boom, get my finish. So again, I've got standard seatbelt grip here. They are defending. They've got their arm in the way. So this bottom hand just does this. It does this kind of movement, right? Like karate block. Right? Right up, show the palm. So I come on the inside, I do my karate block, grab the wrist, grab the other one, foot to the nook of the elbow, get the back, choke, just like that. Boom. So, do it again. Wow, here. My neighbours must think I'm mad. You guys are in the garden, they must think you're more there. So, over here, bottom hand just comes on the inside, pummels in and grabs the wrist. This hand goes and grabs that one. I'm back to my straight jacket. Foot in the nook, put it down, cross my feet, start looking for finishes. There. Boom. Have a little practice for a second. Smashing the straitjacket system now. Awesome. I'll come and have a very quick look. I've been intensely studying this all lockdown, every day. And hopefully it'll pay off, who knows. I'm going to become a theoretical black belt as opposed to a practical black belt. George, nice. Jordan's just standing about. Izzy's sitting outside the house doing nothing. Perfect. Good, last minute, and then we'll just do a conclusion, wrap up, I think. That's what it is. I'll do it again. Pass this. Everyone's going to be really confused now. It's not related. So, let's go through everything we've learned today, just as a summary, not again. So, I need to have hooks to stop them turning one way or the other. I need to have a seat belt to stop them sliding down or stop them coming up. I need to keep my head next to their head. Gives me a lot more control, makes most of the escapes very difficult. My seatbelt, I want to hold the wrist to stop them turning that way, and I want my elbow over their shoulder here to stop them turning that way. Right? And if I can choose which side they fall to, which I can't always, I want to ideally go to the side of the non-choking arm, the one that's holding the wrist here. If I go the other way, there's a few things I can do to just pull them the other way, and I can just simply swap arms if I want to. We might go over those in the future, but there's a lot you can do. But ideally, I'm going to force them to go this way. When I'm over here, I got three kind of ways of trapping the arm. Number one, they hold my wrist. I just stretch away, and I trap my arm for my straitjacket. Number two, they hold the wrist and I pull, break the grip. I grab their hands, this gives me a lot more control. And I push and I trap. Number three is the full straitjacket. So I've got my seat belt. They're defending. I bring this bottom hand in and grab. This top hand grabs the other one. I've got my straitjacket and they're stuck here. This is the most effective. This hand holding the wrist is very hard for them to hide it because the mat wedges my elbow, which means their arm has got nowhere else to go. They can't push over here very easily. I've got my foot on the hip, nook of the elbow, pull it in. Whenever I've trapped an arm, I have a number of options. I can bring my foot behind their back, this is a good option. I can cross my feet, this is a good option. I can go full body triangle. Probably the best option, depending who you are, but it requires certain anatomical characteristics, i.e. long legs, and a skinny partner. This is what you need. So you need to be able to do it on a fat guy. So one of the good things to do, especially with this one actually, with the full straitjacket, I trap, I can hold my foot, so it gives me a lot of pressure, and that can help me. I can even lock up a triangle this side, right? They're never getting their arm out now. They're really, really stuck, right? When I do the rear naked choke, I want to start up by the ear. I do that position with my hand. I grind down under their chin, put my hand on my bicep, my other hand behind their head. For the finish, I roll my shoulders back. I use my head and push away with my feet to use my whole body to get the stretch on their neck. That's why it's the Mataleo, the king of chokes. This should be even if someone's significantly stronger than you, if you get to this position, it's your whole body against just their neck, and you should better put them to sleep pretty quickly, or eventually. There. So that's the kind of fundamentals of the straitjacket system. So I hope it was useful. I did blast through very quickly. So I will put the full video up on YouTube of this class, and then I'll share it tomorrow, and you guys can have a little recap. But until then, let's have a little stretch. Reach those toes. Even though I didn't work too hard today, I get pretty stiff if I don't stretch every day. So. Good. And let's switch sides. And both feet out. And butterfly. Give those knees a little bounce. Come onto your front. Drop those hips. Oh, yeah. So supple. I got old man back. That hurts. Sit back on your heels. And sit up. Head to one side. And the other. Head backwards. Forwards. Give it up a shake. Thank you everyone, it's a bit different, but I hope you enjoyed it. Throw in massively